Hello everyone, welcome to Apti Plus Academy for Civil Services. It's a video on daily news and editorial analysis, which I'll be covering from the Hindu and Indian Express. So the most important news and editorial of the day that is relevant for the preparation of civil services examination will be discussed in this session. Let's get started with the news topic list. Today is 1st of December. The first important news that is our ransomware attack increasing in India. This is an analysis part from the text and context page of the Hindu. Second, Supreme Court raised idea of Project Great Indian Busted. Third, GDP growth dips as manufacturing slides. There are two editorial, one from the Indian Express and another from the Hindu. The first editorial is about one earth, one family and one future. This is regard to the recent India G20 presidentship. And the other editorial is the Indian recipe to quell the micronutrient malnutrition. So these are some of the important editorial and news of the day. Apart from the news and editorial discussion, at the end of this video, there will be MCQ based question. These questions will be based on current affairs that will help you for the upcoming prelims examination. So without any further delay, let's get started. And before I begin this session, those of you who are new to our channel, do not forget to subscribe Apti Plus Academy for Civil Services on YouTube. If you like this video, if you find this video informative and helpful, do press a like button. Starting the session with the first news of the day, that is our ransomware attack increasing in India. Something important for General Studies Paper 2 under the subtopic that is important aspects of governance, transparency, accountability and e-governance. So recently, e-services at All India Institute of Medical Science in Delhi was crippled by suspected ransom attack, and these attack has took place in the AIMS Delhi OPD department, which has disrupted the patient service scale. Right? अगर OPD की बात करें जहाँ पे registration service होती है outdoor patients के लिए, वो पूरी तरह से disrupt हुई और इस disruption की वजह से ऑलमोस्ट कई ऐसे पेशेंट के इंपॉर्टेंट इन्फॉर्मेशन थे वो लीक हुए. The National Information Center, which is the NIC, which maintained the server for the government of India, said that the incident was a ransomware attack, which hackers has demanded money to restore the access to the online services. So this is a kind of a fraud that is taking place in our country. The level has escalated to the hackers. Now the AIMS at a local network area, LAN use करती AIMS, comprises of more than 65 computers supporting the institutes, its hospital, center and other department. Now about ransomware की अगर बात करें, what is this concept all about? How does it function? And what is the terminology with regards to the ransomware? So ransomware is a type of malicious software used by the cyber criminals to infect the computer system by blocking access to the stored data, that is with regards to the encrypted file. तो सिस्टम को बेसिकली हैंडल की जाती है बाय द थेफ्ट और अदर साइबर अटैकर्स एंड एन इंडिविजुअल इज अनेबल टू एक्सेस टू हिज और ओन फाइल. And ransom is then demanded for the owner, that is an exchange of the descriptive key. And ransomware attack can also be accompanied by the theft, sensitive data and other sensitizing motives. Now what are the types of malware? So first is ransomware is a type of a malware. This is again an important point you can note. This is blackmailing, blackmailers give you a mail and get access to your system. The other is spyware, which steals your data. Other is adware, that is a spam you get in your ad. Then there is worm, which is speed across the computers, trojans that sneak the malware onto your PC, and botnets that turn off your computers. Now, how serious are the ransom attacks and how prevalent it is in India? So, preliminary finding by the cyber expert have indicated कि पिछले 5 दिनों में ये देखा गया at least 5 times the AIM servers was related to this and 3 core patient services were compromised. In India, there are several cases of ransom attack that is targeting the commercial and critical infrastructure. Reporting in the recent past, अगर एक example के तौर पे या फिर आप कुछ recent के incidents लें, SpiceJet की केस होगी where they face a threat with regards to public sector undertaking. There was with regards to the ONGC और अगर oil sector company की बात करें, oil companies को भी target की गई है. Now according to the Interpol report which they published in the Global crime trend report, and it found that 90% of the General Assembly meeting, जो 90th जनरल असेंबली की मीटिंग हुई थी ग्लोबल क्राइम ट्रेंड रिपोर्ट्स की, उन्होंने ये बताया दैट द इंडिया वाज द सेकंड हाईएस्ट कंट्री विद रिगार्ड्स टू द मनी लॉन्ड्रिंग, एंड दिस नंबर हैज टेकन अ टोल अप टू 66%, राइट. तो परसेंटेज वाइज इंडिया में जो केसेस हैं वो 66% तक रिपोर्ट किए हैं. फैक्चुअली इंपॉर्टेंट इन्फॉर्मेशन फॉर द मेन्स पर्पसेस. It is also expected that most of thing will increase to 72% in a due course of time. Now, agencies in India that are involved with regards to cyber attack, ये prevention methodology की बात करें, कौन सी ऐसे टीम है, ऐसे फोर्सेस हैं जो इंडिया में एक्चुअली वर्क करते हैं. सो एक डेडिकेटेड ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है दैट इज इंडियन कंप्यूटर इमरजेंसी रिस्पॉन्स टीम्स, जिसको CRT कहते हैं, स्टैब्लिश की गई थी 2004 में, एंड इट इज अ नेशनल नोडल बॉडी टू कलेक्ट, analyze, circulate the inputs with regards to cyber attack, issue guideline advisory for the prevention measures, forecast the issues and alert, and take measures to handle the significant cyber events in our country. And it's also impart training to computer system and managers. उसके अलावा the National Cyber Security Coordinators है under the National Security Council Secretariat that coordinates with the different agencies at national level on the cyber security issues. Now then we have National Critical Information Infrastructure Projection that has been set up for the protection of national critical information infrastructure. And according to the government, Cyber Swaksha Kendra, जिसको Bonnet Cleaning and Malware Analysis Center भी कहते हैं, has been launched by detection of the malicious software program to provide free and tools to remove the same. उसके अलावा नेशनल साइबर कोऑर्डिनेशन सेंटर बनाई गई है दैट इज क्रिएटिंग अवेयरनेस अबाउट एग्जिस्टिंग पोटेंशियल थ्रेट दैट इज टेकिंग प्लेस विद रिगार्ड्स टू साइबर सिक्योरिटी इन आवर कंट्री. नाउ हैकर शॉकर्स की अगर बात करें, रैंसम इज अ malicious software that attacks over the computer denying access to the data, and attackers demand ransom to store access of the data. उसको कुछ पैसे चाहिए होते हैं आफ्टर विच ही कैन रिस्टोर बिकॉज ही हैज एक्चुअली टेकन सम कंट्रोल ओवर इट, एंड दैट इज अ काइंड ऑफ अ फ्रॉड दैट इज टेकिंग प्लेस इन इंडिया. दिस अ लेवल ऑफ साइबर अटैक व्हिच हैज this country has witnessed. Over 3.5 lakh power consumption in Telangana visit the website largely informed to pay the bills, and Telangana Power Department officially says that the major problem averted to the hackers trick was billing cycle got over. Now, other news, the Supreme Court raised the idea of Project Great Indian Bustard, that is GIB, something important for General Studies Paper 3, that is Conservation, Environmental Pollutions, Degradation and EI. It is also important for General Studies Paper 2, where Supreme Court intervention and issues related to judiciaries are concerned. Recently, the Supreme Court has directed the Chief Secretaries of Rajasthan as well as Gujarat to conduct the assessment in priority areas related to the total length of transmission line, that is estimated number of birds diverted required to protect the Great Indian Bustard, because जो transmissions line है वो काफ़ी बड़ी problem साबित हुई है for the death of the Great Indian Bustard in the region of Rajasthan and Gujarat. The apex court was informed about the death of the male and female Great Indian Bustard in the priority areas. So death यहाँ से भी report किए गए हैं, which is again a cause of concern. Basically, the number of the population of the GIB is declining in the country. The bench led by the Chief Justice of India asked orally to the council and instructed the Environment Ministry to issue a letter related to some of the mechanism that will focus for the project of Great Indian Bustard similar to the Tiger project. जिस तरह से इंडिया में टाइगर प्रोजेक्ट लाई गई है, उसी तरह से प्रोजेक्ट ग्रेट इंडियन बस्टर्ड की जरूरत है, वेयर वी कैन हैव suspicious on the part and we can be serious on the part of taking care of the prevention and protection for the Great Indian Bustard. Installations of bird diversions की भी बात की गई है. तो सुप्रीम कोर्ट हैज earlier directed the state of Gujarat and Rajasthan to expedite the installations of bird diverters, at least in the priority area, to save the GIB and lesser follicles. Now, earlier the three-judge bench has directed the concerned authorities to convert the over cable into the underground power line, ताकि किसी तरह से electrical collisions की बात ना हो. The court has even come up with a plea seeking the protections of two species, including the Great Indian Bustard. Now, according to the petitions that was filed in the Supreme Court, the existence of the overall power line, it stated that it has become a hazard due to that, and even the birds are getting due to collisions. Death जो है कई बार collisions की वजह से भी report की गई. According to the petitioner, the overall line, the biggest threat to the survival of the Great Indian Bustard in the region of Rajasthan as well as in Gujarat. Now about GIB, basically Great Indian Bustard are the state bird of Rajasthan, a very important point, even relevant for prelims and specifically for अगर राजस्थान PCS की बात करें वहाँ पे भी काफ़ी ज़्यादा important है. It's considered as the most critically endangered bird. It is considered as a flagship grassland species representing the health of the grassland ecology. Right? These are some of the notable points with regards to the GIB. Now, protection status की अगर बात करें इंटरनेशनल यूनियन फॉर कंजर्वेशन ऑफ नेचर के हिसाब से दिस आर क्रिटिकली एंडेंजर्ड एंड साइट्स के मुताबिक अपेंडिक्स 1 में लिस्टेड है. कन्वेंशन और माइग्रेटरी स्पीसीज अगेन अपेंडिक्स 1 एंड वाइल्ड लाइफ प्रोटेक्शन एक्ट के शेड्यूल 1 में इसके बारे में जिक्र की गई है. GDP growth depths as manufacturing slide, something important for General Studies paper 3. Under the subtopic that is Indian economy and issues related to planning, mobilization of resources, growth and development. According to the latest estimate released by the National Statistical Office, the manufacturing and mining output contracted year-on-year basis in July and September quarter. And why it was contracted? Because manufacturing की और mining की जो growth होनी चाहिए वो नहीं है. This has led to the dragging of the gross value added growth and even expected than the slower 5.6% की report की गई है growth, and higher inflation and weak import has combined the slow growth of the overall GDP that is at 6.3% pace. Now, what is the GDP data post-COVID? If you look into the other part, a little over 75 lakh crore rupees of Indian GDP in the first quarter of 2023, 2022 and 23, which was larger than 5.7 compared to pre-COVID level. And in April to June, basically this fiscal has witnessed GDP growth of 13.5% and GVA hai, that is expanded to 12.7%. Sector-wise performance is again very important, but in this context, the growth of the agriculture in the GVA has quickened to 4.6 in the second quarter and 4.5 in the preceding for the 3 months. Manufacturing and mining is again not performing well. This has been contracted to 4.3% and 2.8% in the quarter 2. The first half of the 2023, the Indian economy related to 9.7% of the growth compared to 13.7% in the same period for the last year, while the GVA rose to 9% compared to 12.8% in the surge. Now, the GDP growth projections, the India's chief economic advisor has said that the data confirms that the economy recovery from the pandemic continued and it's tracked on between 6.8 to 7% of the real GDP. And among the GVA components, the sharpest growth is in the quarter 2 was reported by the contract intensive trade, hotels, transport, communications and related services to the broadcasting segment, which surged to 14.7%. Now, this is a graph where you can completely analyze the data, how the Indian GDP grew by 6.3% during the July-September quarter, slowing from 13.5% in quarter 1 and 8.4% in the earlier quarter. So these are the data. Even the graphical format will help you understand this. Moving to the first editorial of the day, that is One Earth, One Family and One Future, something important for General Studies paper 2 under the subtopic that is bilateral regional grouping and agreement involving India and affecting India's interest. So this editorial is written by Prime Minister of India, Mr. Narendra Modi. And what does the Prime Minister wanted to convey in this editorial? First, looking into the theme, it's talking about India's G20 presidency and its roadmap. We look into the important issues under this editorial and the theme. First is the introductions, and second about the digital public goods, energy security and climate change, challenges and the way forward. So definitely India will hold the presidency of G20 from 1st of December, that is from today itself, and it will hold till a tenure of November 30, 2023. The previous 17 presidencies of the G20 have delivered significant results, that is, ensuring the macroeconomic stability, rationalizing of international taxation, and relieving the debt burden on the countries. इंडिया की G20 प्रेसिडेंसी की अगर बात करें, it will work to promote a universal sense of oneness. This is what India Prime Minister has categorically noted in the summit. And hence, the theme for India will be One Earth, One Family, One Future. And India's G20 agenda will be inclusive, ambitious, action oriented, and decisive. Digital public goods की बात की गई. The government of India has leveraged the technology to create public goods so that it is open, inclusive, and interoperable. These have been delivered revelatory progress in the field, which include the social protection. जो government of India इस पे काफी ध्यान दी हुई है. Financial inclusion पे खासा ध्यान है. उसके अलावा electronic payment system like payment which is directly to the beneficiary's account, the part of the government of India, important achievements, and they're working towards it as well. For all this reason, the India's experience can provide insight for the possible global solutions. Energy security and climate change. Energy security and climate change are equally important issues for India G20 presidency. The stand of India and the other developing countries on energy security is to be continued, and there should be no restrictions on supply of energy. Stability in energy market should be ensured. India की अगर बात करें कोल पे डिपेंडेंस को लेकर के, almost close to 50 to 60% of India's dependence come from the coal, which India want to reduce it drastically by 2030 and move to alternative source of fuel, right? And India may continue till the draft phase out plan is ongoing, and India will be phasing out coal as early as possible. Now, कुछ challenges हैं इंडिया के पास जो G20 में इनको मेन पॉइंट एड्रेस करनी है ग्लोबल लेवल पे. सो दीज आर द ग्लोबल challenges which include the climate change, terrorism, and pandemics. Post pandemic recoveries जो हैं, that was again very important for many other emerging economies as well. Now, talking about the way forward, the G20 can act as a forum to exchange the experience on societal benefits and growth as complementary goal that will lead to fresh thinking on employment and environment. और G20 इस सिचुएशन को रियलाइज करती है जहाँ पे इंक्लूसिव और सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट और वर्ल्ड की बात की गई है, एंड इवन कंट्रीब्यूटिंग टुवर्ड्स द रिजॉल्विंग दिस ग्लोबल इश्यूज. Moving to the other editorial of the day, that is Indian recipe to quell micronutrients malnutrition, something important for general studies paper 2. Under the subtopic government policies and intervention for the development of various sectors and issues arising from its design and implementation. It is also important for the same paper in GS2 where issues related to health are concerned. So in this editorial, first we'll be looking into the theme. The theme is about the malnutrition in India. Some of the important issues that is under this editorial will be the role of food fortifications, rice program and anemia, non-meal schemes. गुजरात के केस स्टडीज को देखेंगे, क्या प्रोग्रेस की गई है गुजरात में, and the need for precautions and the way forward. So malnutrition जो है वो एक्सक्रिबरेट करती है, बढ़ाती है the magnitude of public health crisis and the most serious challenges and the concern for the country like India, where the potential youth between the age group, which is like mounting to 45 to 60%, 50 to 60% of India's population, can be grappled with the situation of the malnutrition, right? अगर malnutrition की बात करें, अगर malnutrition को clear नहीं करेंगे तो आने वाले जो potential growth होंगी और बच्चों की वो potentially नहीं हो पाएंगे. According to the National Family Health Survey 5, every second woman is anemic, right? Every third child is stunned and malnourished, and every fifth child is wasted. और ये कुछ important astonishing data है from the Food and Agriculture Security Report, which rank India's 101 among the 116 countries in terms of the global hunger index, and 15.3 undernourished population, that is the highest population of stern children 30% and wasted children about 17.3%. Now, the picture of Global Nutrition Report 2021 paints is cause for concern, noting that stunning among the children in India is significantly higher than the average Asian, that is 21.8%. Role of food fortification. Since 1920, developed countries and high-income countries have successfully tackled the issues of malnutrition through the food fortifications. Of late, अगर low और middle income countries की बात करें, such as India, they have pressured from food fortification as one of the strategies to tackle the micro malnutrition. Malnutrition एक अपने आप में बहुत बड़ी broad topic है. Micronutrients malnutrition भी काफी ज्यादा इंडिया में देखी गई है. Now to put it simply, food fortification एक प्रोसेस लाई गई जिसके आने से बहुत सारे माइक्रोन्यूट्रिएंट्स फूड में ऐड किए जा सके और जो माइक्रोन्यूट्रिएंट malnutrition उनको रिमूव करने में मदद मिली. फॉर इंस्टेंसेस, rice and wheat are fortified with iron and folic acid and vitamins like B12 and salt fortified with iron and iodine, ताकि जो essential trace minerals हैं वो बच्चों को मिल पाए. Iodized salt has been used for the past few decades. Rice program and anemia. The pilot project and the distributions of fortified rice has been taken up by the Maharashtra government in the Gadchiroli district. That is a part of targeted public distribution system for the masses. और इस प्रोग्राम के अंदर ये देखा गया है कि सक्सेसफुल एनीमिया में रिडक्शंस हुई हैं एंड फॉर द स्पैन ऑफ 2 ईयर, जहाँ पे पहले 58.9% थी घट के 59.2% हुई केसेस. This has prompted the central government to declare the scale up of this fortified rice program. मेजर स्टेपल डाइट है ऑलमोस्ट 65% पॉपुलेशन की, और इसको कवर करने के लिए गवर्नमेंट ने सेफ्टी नेट्स प्रोवाइड किए हैं लाइक पब्लिक डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन सिस्टम, ICDS, PM पोषण स्कीम्स में भी इसे इंटीग्रेट की गई. Now, if you talk about the malnutrition in India, 7.06 lakh children ऐसे हैं जो basically under 5 that died because of this, and only 6.4% of the children between 0 to 2 years get a proper diet. Now, नून मील स्कीम इन गुजरात में कुछ केस स्टडीज के तौर पे भी इसे आप यूज कर पाएंगे. 8 month long study on multiple micronutrients fortified rice intervention for the school children were there between the age group of 6 to 12, and the part of the midday meal scheme were there. It found that the hemoglobin जो concentration है बच्चे में 10% तक reduction हुई है in anemia prevalence, and more importantly it has improved the cognitive score of the children by 11%. So these are the advantages that has been witnessed with the fortified rice or the wheat. Iron deficiency, that is anemia, is a major public health concern because it is responsible 3.6% of disability adjusted life, that is DLYs, year of life lost due to the premature mortality and life with disabilities according to the World Health Organization. Now, need for precautions. Definitely, apart from using the fortified foods, जो fortified foods होते हैं आपको उसकी लोगो मिल जाएगी कई बार फूड के पैकेट्स पे. This is the logo of the fortified foods, even if for the oils and many other products there. Despite the program, the proven efficacy, activists have expressed the concern over the iron overload from the fortified rice that is dangerous for the Jharkhand tribal population suffering from sickle cell anemia and thalassemia. दोनों ब्लड रिलेटेड प्रॉब्लम्स हैं, तो कई बार हाई अमाउंट ऑफ आयरन की वजह से भी प्रॉब्लम देखी गई है. Now, the way forward, food fortification, according to the stalwarts of nutrition, is a cost-effective complementary strategy to address the multiple micronutrient deficiencies. Thus, it is proven efficacy as a cost-effectiveness for the food fortification that will help in reducing the micronutrient deficiency and address the overall health benefits. So we have to maintain two things. First, we need to increase the penetration of the fortified food, and we need to also ensure कि कितनी लेवल पे किस एज ग्रुप को किस कैटेगरी की fortified food देनी है ताकि बाद में किसी भी तरह की रेजिस्टेंस ना हो उनके बॉडी में. So both things need to be seen as parallel concern, and this is the way out where the fortification can definitely be a game changer for a country like India. Now, moving to the MCQ questions of the day. Before I proceed, just to tell you the answers of yesterday's questions. For first question, the correct option is C. For second question, the correct option is B. Today's MCQ for practice. आपको बताना है मालाबार एक्सरसाइज के बारे में. It's an annual trilateral exercise of Navy between the navies of India, Japan, and United States of America. The exercise is held tentatively in Indian and Pacific Ocean. Second question, Gender Inequality Index is released by World Economic Forum, UNDP, Save the Children, Transparency International. Many a times UPSC tend to ask question on index as well as on report. So these two segments are the favorite topic of the UPSC. This was all about for the daily news and editorial analysis, followed by the MCQ questions. If you have any other concern, you can let me know. I'll be more than happy to assist you. For time being, I'm signing off. Thank you so much for watching this video.